Welcome to the Joy Be Good vlog. Today I'm going to show you how to paint geometric mountains. This is also an update on my baby room. So these mountains are going to be in my nursery for my future baby. And it's a labor of love, but it's a great process. And I hope you enjoyed today's vlog. Sorry about all the junk on the bed, because this is what happens when you try to redo rooms. Okay, so I am all done taping. I just have to tape the baseboards and everything's taped out for the hills. And I'm gonna run to the store, go get some paint. It's been a crazy day. Run to the store, go get some paint, and then head back. So hopefully I can get it all and tape up the base and maybe start on it tonight. Otherwise it's gonna be tomorrow. It is about 4:35 a.m. and I couldn't sleep, so I'm just gonna start on the paint project. Sorry about the table lag. I've got random furniture sitting on top of the bed, so yeah. Okay, so now I'm really done cutting in. I forgot to cut the corner in. So I cut that corner in. All the baseboards are cut in. And then the edges of the mountains are all cut in. And now I gotta start the rolling. So I'm not sure what happened, but the camera turned off. But as you can see, it didn't stop. So I'm halfway done with painting my first coat. Okay, so the first coat is done. Now I just have to let it dry for a little bit and do another coat. But I just finished the second coat. It's all done. And I'm just gonna wait for it to dry and then see. I'll wait for it to dry, see how it looks, and if it looks okay, then I'll pull all the blue tape and then I can start on my second set of mountains. All right, it's a moment of truth. Pull the tape and see how it works out. Okay, so all of the baseboard tape is off. Now I'm gonna do the walls. There's a few, like, some of my lines of paint was not perfect. Like, there's a little bleed through in some spots. I'm gonna pull this and let it completely dry and come back and do some background mountains. Okay folks, so I'm totally done. I'm a little bummed because there's a couple spots that the lines are not that great, but here is a shot of what I just finished painting. I'm gonna put some additional mountains in the background in another color, but I'm gonna want to let this stuff dry. But I'm kind of pretty bummed about that. See, like the messy edge there, it kind of goes all the way up, and I touched the wall at one point. super hard to get a perfectly straight edge, just for me at least. I'm not professional. I just see things and I figure it out and I do it. Very cool. Good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. I let the paint dry overnight, so just to make sure it's set, and then I'm gonna tape out some background mountains right now. I'm excited to be see the end product and then figure out what I want to do with baby furniture. Makes me excited to see some progress on this room. So as you can see, what I did was some of them I actually cut with scissors because I wanted these super straight lines right here, and then some of them are just torn because they don't, some of them don't matter how jagged the edges, like this doesn't matter. But when I'm trying to do something precise, like on this mountain and these corners, I cut them straight with scissors. The other thing I did was when I'm sitting here and I'm pressing like as hard as I can on these edges because I have got the world's bumpiest texture. So I'm pressing really hard on the edges. Some of them I have pretty good straight lines on. And then places where I didn't press hard enough, I have a lot of bleed through. So I'm trying to avoid the bleed through this time around. All right, so I got all the white in, or all the white covered. I got all the white covered. I think I got all the edges covered. So now I'm gonna go on to my next one, and I'll do one coat of this, and then I'll come back, let it dry in a couple hours, and do a second coat. I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna wrap my paintbrush. What I do is since I'm gonna do 2 coats, is I take my paintbrush, you get it pretty wet, you put it in cellophane, and then you wrap it up, and then when it's time to do another coat, your brush is not dried out. So quick and easy. Cellophane, doesn't need to look nice or pretty, just needs to be wrapped so that air can't get in. Come back in just a little bit, and do another coat, and then I'm done. And the other thing I would check for when you're doing this is I would look for drip lines. Make sure you don't have any drip marks before you walk away. And then you don't have to worry about that, especially since it will dry quickly. So I'm gonna paint on the second coat and then let it dry again. And hopefully, it does look a little darker, but I'm hoping that there's enough contrast. Okay, one more coat down. Okay, so I had time to dry, which was fantastic because look, it gave me time to take a shower. That's why you always start early in the morning, wear your paint clothes. Pretty dry. It's got a couple little spots, but I'm gonna pull back this. I'm gonna start with this side, see how I like it, and go from here. So there's a slight color shade difference between the two. Let me see, can you see on the camera? Kind of. It's a little bit darker. Don't want it to be too dark in here because this bedroom is pretty small. So that was one reason I opted out of super bright colors. And it was also another reason that I opted out of dark colors. And see how I'm pulling up and away? So you pull away from the paint so that your tape does not accidentally fall within your line, or you don't pull paint off when you're pulling tape. These lines all turned out absolutely perfect. Let's take a look here. All these lines turn out super fantastic. There are a few lines up here at the top, like that one. So you have super bumpy walls, so that one didn't seal super well. Okay, so this is a whole shot of the room, and I actually like it a lot. The mountains start all the way down here, they wrap all the way around. Okay, so let's do a little recap here. Painting mountains. So these are kind of like geometrical mountains with that. Typically, the other videos I watched, what they did was they painted these darker colors first. I found that a little bit more difficult because I didn't know where I wanted to put certain things, and I wanted to use the white as snow cap. I taped, I painted, I let it dry for like, I'd say 3 hours. Came back, did a second coat, because a lot of times things, even though they say they cover on the first coat, they don't typically. Sometimes you have to do 3 coats. It just depends if what the background colors or the darker color is. So I didn't have to paint 3 times, but then again, when I did it the first time, I went back in and I saw that there were a lot of different little white spots that I went over and actually hand painted with the brush to make sure that I got them, and then I rolled it over with the roller. This is 3/4 nap rough, so it went on pretty thick, so I had to watch for drips and everything else because it went on thicker, but my walls are very, very, very like heavy texture. I went back the next morning because I wanted this paint to have a full, you know, evening to dry, but in order to get that perfectly straight edge between the 2 colors, just do small sections, but you want to make sure you're using one continuous piece of tape, because otherwise if you have a break in that tape, you're more likely to get a bump, or you're more likely to have it not seal all the way. And then yeah, I did the same thing. It's pretty, it's a labor of love, but it's totally, I think, worth it, and it's not as hard as it seems, but I think it turned out pretty dang cool, and I'm excited to finish up this baby's room. Message me if you have any questions or comments. Please comment below. Make sure that you like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video today. Give us a thumbs up, and I hope this helped you out in any sort of home project you're gonna do, and I hope you enjoyed the baby room update. Take care, have a good day, bye-bye.